Okay guys, so now is the time. We are going to take the Hildabeast, push it to the limits, well, the limits with what I can, given the motors and the 545 kV and the ESCs that I've got on there. We're going to run these two Lumenier N2O 4-cell 5200 milliamp hour packs in series, making it an 8S 5200 pack with a 120 constant and a 240 burst. We're hoping to really see what the Hildabeast can do. Just to go over it really quickly, if you haven't watched any of the previous videos, I'll link them right up here in case you want to check them out. There's a playlist. We are running the T-Motor F1000 545 kV X-Class motors. These are the Master Air Screw 13x12 X-Class props. Moving on, we have the APD 120F3 ESCs, and those are going into the APD PDB500 power distribution board from Advanced Power Drives. We have a little screamer on here. We're running the TBS Crossfire Nano, and for the flight controller, it is the Brain Radix on the back. I've just changed out the connectors. We have the AS150 barrel connectors, obviously to be able to handle the current that we're going to be pulling through this, and we have the Hero 7 black up top. I'm going to enable the GPS so we can hopefully get a little bit of a speed test. I wish I had a radar gun. Maybe that'll be something I get for the couple next flights. Another huge problem with quads, regardless of the size, but specifically the large quads, are the battery straps. They suck. They're constantly breaking. You're trying to figure out a good way to affix the batteries to the quad without the strap breaking, them falling off, all of that. So I did some research and I found these straps. You can get them on Amazon. I'll link to them down in the description. They're air nicks, and these things are made out of ballistic nylon and heavy duty industrial grade Velcro. These things are not going to break. I mean, nothing, not at all. Huge. And they're cheap too. I think I paid $10 for 4 of these. So again, I'll link to them down in the description if you want to pick some up. I highly recommend them. These things are amazing. And no, I have nothing to do with this company. I just passing it on. Okay, so let's get these batteries wired up and get this thing tested. Just gonna move this over here so we can set the frame down without hurting the GoPro. Yeah, you see that Velcro? See, with these, I am not afraid to pull these straps so tight. With other cheap straps, no, I wouldn't have done it. Okay, so now that's on there. Let's check the CG real quick. Not that it really matters, but I'd say that's pretty damn good. Right at the center of the flight controller. Okay, let's get this thing powered up. Okay, so again, we're going to be taking these two 4-cells and running them in series to make an 8S pack. So some of you might be wondering exactly how to connect your batteries in series. So I'm going to show you that right now. So you're going to separate, obviously we've got one battery over here and one battery over here. What we want to do is take the positive from one of the packs and run it over to the negative of the other pack, and that's going to line those two batteries together. And now we have an 8S pack. And now we're going to take the ground first, and now we will take the positive. Are you f***ing kidding me?
You did the same.
I put the same connector. So, when you're soldering new connectors onto your craft and it's midnight and you're tired, make sure that you get the proper connector caps. So as you can see here, I got one of the wrong connector caps. The batteries and this connector have the same exact kind, so they won't go into that. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna cut the shielding back and we're gonna get it to work. Don't do this, this is dangerous. You're gonna be messing with current, but we're gonna do it for this intent and purpose so we can fly this damn thing. Doing it for the people, doing it for you guys. All right, let's try this again. That's nerve-wracking.
Hillbilly thick.
We're not gonna have the connector touch the carbon and cause a serious issue or burn down the rest of the field. Okay, it's registering 8S. So before we ran 6S and we were able to hit about 90, 95 miles an hour, and that was it, because the all-up weight of this right now is 9 pounds 12 ounces. I can tell because I'm a humane scale. We weighed it. 9 pounds 12 ounces, that's heavy. So with the 8S or 34 volts, hopefully this thing's gonna scream.
So initial thoughts then?
I have the jitters, kind of like the maiden flight, simply because it's a lot of power. There's a lot that could go wrong. I don't think anything's going to go wrong, but there's a lot that could. And it's a wet field, so if I land out there...
Now what does it go like this cost somebody?
I'll leave the links in the description. You can do the math. Okay, here we go. Arming. Low hover. Okay guys, well, here we are. Couple things. I punched out full throttle across the lawn and I lost all power. So I'm gonna have to try and figure out what happened. Why did I lose power? Did I pull too much? I'm gonna go back and look at the DVR and see what it was, what the amp reading was at the time when I lost. I may very well have pulled too much power, but I doubt it. This thing should be able to handle 8S, no problem. So one thing that I do notice, the batteries are fine, thankfully. One thing that I notice here, we've got dirt and shit all over the motors. Those are fine, those will clean up. The props, obviously we broke 3 props, no big deal. Again, this frame is a tank. There's nothing wrong with the frame at all. The thing is, it's a tank. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I lost all power. This time it wasn't control. It was just like I didn't have any more power. So all the ESCs appear to be fine. They're not hot, the motors aren't hot. Oh, one of the AirNix straps is completely broken, so maybe these aren't as good as I thought. It did hit pretty hard though. I mean, we broke 3 props, so. All right, so let's take this back to the bench, put up some DVR footage, see how many amps we were drawing, and see if we can't prepare this thing for another day, and we will get this thing to break 100 miles an hour. All right guys, let's figure out what the hell happened. All right guys, so it's the next day. We're back at the bench. I have torn apart the Hildabeast, cleaned the motors, had to take the bell completely off 2 of the motors, clean everything out, clean the magnets, lube up the bearings, just a mess. There was mud everywhere. Ended up needing to replace all 4 propellers, and so those are on order from Master Airscrew because I only have 2 left. So we can't unfortunately go fly it today, but I can tell you what it was that I believe ended up causing the issue. One of the wires going to the Crossfire receiver felt like it might be slowly starting to break inside. So I just replaced all the wiring to the receiver. I extended the receiver by about 3 inches off the end of the quad. You can see that right here. This is actually... So let me tell you about what this is. I didn't have anything handy and I was trying to figure it out. I had some old measuring spoons. So this is actually a plastic Rubbermaid or Tupperware teaspoon that I just cut the spoon off of the end of it, drilled a little hole with the Dremel, and then used some goop to affix the Crossfire Immortal T antenna to the end of it, relocating it, hopefully this time well away from the carbon. Again, I rewired the receiver all together, cleaned out the motors, verified that the ESCs are all working fine. I checked all of the connections and components on the flight controller and the PDB. Everything looks good. I rewired the power connectors to the PDB, so I removed the 12 gauge orange wire that was there previously and put in some black and red 10 gauge silicone wire. So I did go ahead and test it. Everything works fine. Everything spins up. I don't get any errors. I think, like I said, that it may very well have just been a failing connection on the Crossfire receiver, and possibly, even though I had used these little feet last time to extend the antenna out away from the frame, I have a feeling that simply extending the antenna an inch away from the frame probably didn't do it. So that's why you see here in this one, I've now extended it, like I said, a few inches away. That should give a very clear radiation path to the receiver, and hopefully all goes well. So as soon as the Master Airscrew props arrive, we will have this thing back out to the field again for hopefully this time a much longer 8S flight. So guys, again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give me a thumbs up. Click the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. We're gonna make this thing scream.